Dean is mean and Dean is green because of his great big bogey. I was stood with the other kids on the rec playing field opposite our house. Spring 1983. Dean, a teenage boy from the estate, was sat on his bike, a blue Raleigh bomber, at the top of the slide, laughing at us all singing this at him, puffing on his player's number 6 fag, and giving the V sign prior to pedalling down at great speed and jumping off the end. It was all very impressive to a not quite 7-year-old. He rode over to me and let his bike drop to the floor. Was you singing that shit at me, weasel? He demanded. I saw your gob going, and with that he shoved me over with his palm flat across my face. So was Jamie, so was Kevin, I countered, staggering to my feet, eyes still blurred from the blow. Yeah, but they're my mates, was the response. This pretty much covered how the kids on the estate were in a nutshell. Where we lived, there were loads of other children. It wasn't as if I was isolated from kids my own age. It was just, well, most of them were not very friendly. I was, and still am, easy-going by nature. My parents and grandparents brought me up to get along with others. I would try and make friends, and it would go well for a while, but sooner or later there would be an issue. There were twin brothers from around the corner who used to call to play sometimes. They were part of a big local family, and were okay whilst quietly wrecking my toys, eating and drinking any refreshments Mum had put out, or if no one else was around. But go up to them when they were with other local kids, and you just got abuse or a thump. Also, their habits were, well, questionable. We were making a den in my back garden together one day. Mum had observed the one boy peeing in the borders. She came out to admonish him and asked where his brother had gone. He's away home to do a big job, missus, came the response. It was their older sister who later on I used to bribe to write notes for me to take to the local newsagents for cigarettes. I discovered that their mother, being housebound but a 60 a day smoker, would send one of the kids out to buy them with a handwritten note and a fiver. Her daughter could copy her writing perfectly, so I would grab some chocolate bars or whatever from our food cupboard and give them to her in exchange for a note, then bite down there, buy the fags with my own money, and flog them to other underage smokers in my peer group at a nice profit. Worked well until the old girl died. The father and eldest son used to have fearful drunken fights, the son gouging out his father's eye in one bout. After their mother had died, the younger kids were taken into care. Another lad from the estate who I got on with okay used to invite me around to play at his house sometimes. The house was in a dreadful state. Old furniture dumped in the garden, the cooker in the kitchen dripping with stale grease, and just a general stink of fag ends and stale piss. It was here in his parents' bedroom that at around the age of 10, I was shown his father's stash of seriously hardcore pornography. The house had the bathroom downstairs, next to the kitchen, so everyone used to use a chamber pot in the night, but he told me his older sister could never be bothered and just pissed in the corner of her bedroom or in the bed, hence the stink. At a weekend, his father would stagger in mid-afternoon, legless from the working men's club. An irony, really, as he had never worked a day, and collapsed behind the sofa on the dirty carpet. I started to think this was normal behaviour, and questioned Mum as to why our dad had never done this. The estate was never dull, that was for certain. One night we were all woken by the sound of screams, and on opening the front windows, could see this fella from the house at the end of the road trying drunkenly to strangle his wife in the front garden. His son's desperately attempting to loosen his grip. The sound of police sirens the only thing to dissuade him. Marbles enjoyed a comeback as a kid's game of choice in the early 80s. We all played, gambled, and swapped them. There was a strange lad that lived on the estate who was adept at it. Known to most as Bogbrush, due to his second name, the reason I say he was odd is this. I have never known anyone else sit on the curb for hours with a magnifying glass, trying to burn the ants, or a lit candle, dripping wax on them, or nor lying in the grass pulling the legs off crane flies just to see how many was the least they could fly with or function. Him and another kid once peed in a Corona limeade bottle and tried to get us younger ones to drink it. I could go on, but you get the picture of how it was on that estate. If you're enjoying my autobiographical short stories from the book I've written, and your point is, please give us a like or subscribe to my channel. It really, really would be appreciated. Thank you. Take care.